Hi, it's another day, it's another video back on my channel. Thank you very much for clicking that thumbnail, really appreciate it. On today's video, I'm going to rank the top transfer rumour of every Premier League club currently, and what we are middle of July, so a month to go till the season starts. Before we start, please do subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Subscribers are slowly going up, which is great. Comment below with your thoughts on your team's main transfer rumour, or are there other rumours that I've missed? Let me know your thoughts on those, and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. And join my Patreon for a couple of quid a month. You can help support the channel, keep going forward and growing, and get rewards as well, like getting mentioned in the show notes of every single video. Scroll down to see the current patrons already, who I love with all my heart. So let's get into it. This was suggested by my follower NPAC20 in the community section. Thank you very much for suggesting that. We're going to get into it. We're going to go alphabetically through the Premier League team, starting with Arsenal and their top transfer rumour, which currently is Declan Rice. Now, technically, Declan Rice, by all reports, has signed for Arsenal, but they haven't been announced officially. And in fact, West Ham are apparently getting a bit annoyed it's been delayed. So currently still a rumour. By the time you watch this, may well be confirmed that Declan Rice definitely top of their transfer targets. Currently, Arsenal have been making some good signings this summer, and even at 100 million or 105 plus the add-ons, it's a great signing. I think Declan Rice is one of England's best midfielders, potential future England captain, could be around for a long time, still quite young. It's a great signing for Arsenal. If they're going to push City all the way for the title, they're going to have to strengthen their squad, and they've done that. You know, Xhaka's gone, great servant for them, but this is a huge upgrade. Great signing. May well have signed by the time you watch this, but I think Declan Rice is fantastic. My rating, I'm going to do them out of 10. It's going to be 9 out of 10 for this one. Great rating. Plus, there'll be plenty of Muller Rice, I'm sure, in the Arsenal dressing room. What more could you want? Let's move on to Aston Villa, who have signed Spanish central defender Pau Torres. Great signing. And apparently they are leading the race to sign Moussa Diaby, who is a French forward currently at Bayer Leverkusen, only 24 years old. Also wanted by Arsenal, apparently, although Arsenal have signed enough players. They can let go on this one. Has scored 49 goals in 172 appearances, so not the best record, but not a terrible record. You'd imagine would be understudy to Ollie Watkins, but Emery knows what he's doing. So interesting one, this. I'm going to rate this one 6.5 out of 10. On to Bournemouth, who've been linked with Bristol City's 19-year-old central midfielder Alex Scott. No, not that one. She's currently presenting Women's World Cup for the BBC. A bright future ahead of this guy, in the team of the year for the EFL last year. I think could be a fantastic signing. Very Bournemouthy, very Bournemouth name. Alex Scott. Peak Bournemouth name, and apparently all his friends keep asking him where he's going this summer, and he basically ignores them. So nice guy. But yeah, one for the future. I like this signing. I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. On to Brentford, who've been linked with an Ivan Toney replacement. Obviously, that's #1 target. Habib Diallo, 28-year-old Strasbourg forward, 20 goals in 38 appearances last year. That's not a bad record. They're going to need someone to shoulder the responsibility up top. It can't just be Brian and Burmo, as much as I like him. This could be a great signing. A bit older, 28 now, so you peak, hopefully the peak of his career. Maybe someone that will, you know, hopefully settle in the Premier League. But Brentford again, transfer-wise, recruitment-wise, seem to know what they're doing. So I'm going to rate this one 7 out of 10. On to Brighton, who have been heavily linked with Scott McTominay, the Man United central midfielder, Scottish central midfielder. Have to admit, McTominay is one of those players that I've never really warmed to, but I think is a lot better than people give credit for. Quite an underrated player. And Brighton, again's recruitment is excellent. You can imagine him doing very well for Brighton in central midfield. They do like to pick up these players that have been phased out of big clubs. They got Milner, they had Lallana, or still got Lallana from Liverpool a couple of years ago. But McTominay fits into that mould. I think he's a brilliant player, especially for that level of club. Annoying as it is, as a Palace fan, I'm going to rate this one 8.5 out of 10. On to Burnley, who have been linked with Percy Tau, who's a South African forward, formerly of Brighton. Not the biggest track record or goal record, so I'm not sure if I'm going to rate this one very highly. I don't know much about him, although I do like the name, Percy Tau. It's fun to say, so an extra mark for that one. I'd imagine, I don't know if he'd play much, if he'd back up. Wout Weghorst is back from Man United after his loan spell. I'm going to give this one, Burnley fans, 5 out of 10. On to Chelsea, who of course are linked with half of Europe, but the biggest one I would say, and they've been sort of loosely linked with Paulo Dybala, great player, Vinicius Jr., fantastic player. I don't think those will really happen. The one that's definitely going to happen, and I'm surprised if it hasn't yet already, is Moses Caicedo from Brighton. Fantastic player, was one of their best players, if not their best last season. One of the reasons they've done so well. Will be a big miss for Brighton. I think he can make the step up. I think it's a great signing, could be great under Poch. This is exactly the sort of players that Brighton should be going for, rather than the bloated European stars. This is someone proven in the Premier League, so I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. On to my team Palace, and their number one transfer rumour at the moment, apparently, is centre-back Per Schurz. Great name, very fun to say. 23-year-old from Torino, who apparently Liverpool want as well, but the latest rumours are that Palace have outbid Liverpool for Schurz. Surprising this one, because we don't really need a centre-back, unless we're going to sell one of Gahey or Anderson, which would be very disappointing. It's our best position at the moment in terms of options. Chris Richards in there as well. So I'm surprised by this. We need a right back and a forward more than anything. So I'm going to give this rumour 5 out of 10. On to Everton, who are linked with Man United forward Anthony Elanga. Feels very Everton-y, doesn't it? This transfer has done well at Man United, but maybe not reached his potential yet. I could see him doing quite well at Everton, although under Sean Dyche, is he the right manager for him? Not so sure. So I'm going to give this one a 6.5 out of 10. On to Fulham, where it's more outs than ins. Solomon's gone to Spurs. There's rumours Mitrovic might leave. Marco Silva's on the verge of signing a new contract. I think Fulham fans are more worried about who's leaving than's coming in. But they have been linked with Yunus Musa, who's a 20-year-old USA forward, although did previously work his way up through the England youth ranks. Very much in the Championship Manager wonder kid mould. Probably one more for the future than currently, but you could see him doing well under Marco Silva, if Silva stays at Fulham. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. On to Liverpool, who of course have been making signings ready this summer and done pretty well. They've been linked with a few more. There's been quite a lot of exits so far. There's rumours that Jordan Henderson might leave as well for Saudi Arabia, which I know would be disappointing for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. The replacements they've been linked with are Lavia, who played for Southampton, who was good last season, and Levi Colwill, the Chelsea defender. Let's go Colwill as the number one rumour, because that's the one that all the fans on Twitter seem to be talking about. They'd love him, all the fans it seems to be at Liverpool. I'd be surprised if Chelsea let him go, although currently Chelsea's recruitment policy seems to be sort of made up as they go along each day. So Colwill, great future, would do very well at Liverpool. I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. On to Luton, newly promoted Luton, who apparently are trying to sign Tahi Chong, the former Man United attacker who's now at Birmingham City after initially being at them on loan. Had a great season for Birmingham last year in the Championship. I would imagine he'd be quite a good signing for Luton, would definitely play. You can imagine him making a step up into the Premier League. He's got great hair. All the reasons that I'm going to give this transfer rumour for Luton 7.5 out of 10. On to Man City, who have been heavily linked with 21-year-old Croatian centre-back and star Josko Gvardiol. Feels again quite Man City this, doesn't it? Buy him young, possibly sell him on to another club for loads of money, or keep him. You can imagine him doing very well under Guardiola. The reason I like this transfer rumour quite a lot is his name is very similar to Guardiola's name. Maybe that's Pep's transfer policy at the moment. So I'm going to give this one a rating of 7 out of 10. On to Man United, and I'm going to say their number one transfer rumour is Onana from Inter Milan, the goalkeeper. We've seen De Gea's left now. This one should be wrapped up pretty soon. I'd be surprised if it isn't by the time you watch this video, but currently still a rumour, although it's been reported by all the right places that it is happening. Great goalkeeper, this guy. This is exactly the sort of signing United need. I think this really could take them on to the next level as well, so I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. On to Newcastle. This was difficult to find transfer rumours, which is weird for them considering how much money they've got, but the one they seem to be most linked with is Ibrahim Adel, who is a bit of an unknown Egyptian winger, 22 years old. I don't know if this is really fitting in the Newcastle mould at the moment. You'd be thinking they'd be going for more high-profile stars, but at the moment doesn't seem to be much coming in. Newcastle fans, comment below. Have I missed some rumours? What's going on? Because I'm going to give this one 5 out of 10. On to Nottingham Forest, who are heavily linked with the free transfer signing of Willian from Fulham, who is slowly making his way around every team in the country. Getting on a bit now, but did do very well for Fulham last season. Feels very Nottingham Forest, this signing, doesn't it? In the current mould. Who knows what their transfer policy is, but this feels absolutely peak Forest. I actually think he could do quite well, but it's also risky, could be terrible, which is why I'm going to rate this one 6.5 out of 10. On to Sheffield United, another promoted team who have been heavily linked with Bernie Traore, who's a 22-year-old Ivorian forward who plays for Hacken. Don't know much about this kid, so a bit of an unknown, so that's obviously going to impact my rating, but what I will say is, on Wikipedia, he's currently listed as a Sheffield United player. So who knows what's going on there? Maybe it's already been confirmed. But when you're a Premier League promoted team into the Premier League, it's normally quite difficult to get established Premier League teams to attract them to your club. So that's why teams like the Blades going down this route. I'm going to give this rumour, I don't know, a bit of an unknown here. Going to give it 7 out of 10. On to Spurs, who've been heavily linked with Dutch centre-back Mickey van der Ven. Currently plays for Wolfsburg. I believe he's wanted by quite a lot of other European teams. Again, this feels so Spursy. He looks and sounds like a Yang Vertonghen Championship manager regen. I could definitely see him going to Spurs, and I could probably see him doing quite well. They need some good defenders. They're a bit all over the place at the back. A lot of signings recently haven't quite settled. So yeah, I like this one. Going to give it 7.5 out of 10. On to West Ham, who have been linked as ever with loads of names. Quite high profile, Dennis Zakaria from Juventus, defensive midfielder, very good signing. But the one I could actually see them doing is James Ward-Prowse from Southampton. Surprised he hasn't left the Saints already. Feels very West Ham. You could see him on set pieces, banging in 10 or 15 goals from set pieces this season. I like Ward-Prowse a lot. I'd love him at Palace. I think he's a fantastic player. If West Ham get him, I think they could have a decent season. 8 out of 10 for this rumour. And finally, on to Wolves, who have been linked with the return of Matt Doherty. Of course, has gone to Spurs. Hasn't really worked out from there. Gone to Atletico Madrid for a random little time in Spain. He feels more at home at Wolves. I think this would be a good signing for them. Bit of an upheaval this summer with transfers. This would bring a bit more of a settle to the Wolves defence. So yeah, like this one a lot. Could see him doing well when he goes back. 8.5 out of 10 rating for that. Well, there you go. Those are my ratings of the top rumours for each Premier League team so far this summer. We can do another one of these later on. Maybe we'll review all the actual transfers for each Premier League team so far. Hope you're enjoying these daily videos. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts on my ratings or the rumours for your own team. Drop a like. Subscribe if you're new here and hit the bell, please, so you get notifications whenever I do a new video. We're 179,000. Let's try and get to 180. Then after that, maybe 200 at some point. But thank you very much for your support. Join my Patreon to give a couple of quid a month to support the channel moving forward. And that's it. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Take care. See you again soon.